What's going on, guys? Welcome back to BlackTideTV. In today's survival guide, we're talking about advanced movement and should you use it, should you not, when is it appropriate to use advanced movement and stuff like that. But because of the length of this gameplay, and it's a really good gameplay and I wanted to share it with you guys, the first round I'm going to actually talk about the art of the triple cap, because you're going to see that we're going to triple cap these guys like twice or 3 times maybe, and I just wanted to talk about that because there's a lot of people that really don't understand how to get that triple cap done and don't understand when it's appropriate to triple cap, because triple capping, I've been paired with a lot of people in pubs and they try to do it and they get killed, and then we lose all of our objectives, and a lot of people just don't understand when and how to do a triple cap, and I'd like to share with you guys my knowledge of what's best for doing the triple caps and stuff like that. So if you're not interested in learning about a little bit about spawns and triple capping and stuff about domination, you can go ahead and skip about 4 minutes into this video. At the end of the first round, I'm going to start talking about the advanced movement part of this video, and you're going to see me running around on a bunch of walls and stuff that you probably didn't know that you could actually run on this map. So just if you're not interested in this, just go ahead and skip to about 4 minutes into the video. So let's talk about triple capping. Triple capping, I don't recommend. I don't think you should need to triple cap. It's not going to really make you win a whole lot faster, because then you have to really struggle to hold all 3 positions. I think triple capping is a good idea if the enemy team is short-handed. Other than that, I wouldn't really try it. Of course, with a well-coordinated team, if you have 6 guys all with mics, you guys are tryhards, you're ready to go, you can definitely easily triple cap an enemy, and it's just very easy to do that when you have a well-coordinated team and you're playing against someone of lesser skill. But if you're just in a pubs match, you're by yourself, I don't recommend triple capping, because it can be very difficult. You really need to have the coordination to triple cap. You either need team coordination or you need one person that's really just ripping out the score streaks and just destroying the enemy team at their spawn trapping people, and just working all of the objectives at once. That's what I'm doing in this gameplay. But it's very hard to do that without some proper map and spawn knowledge. It can be really difficult to triple cap when you're by yourself. So this team, I do believe, was short-handed, so that's why we managed to triple cap them, and it was still pretty difficult to keep the triple cap going, and we're going to start losing in the second round. But we still come out on top, but they really come back in the second round, and the triple cap really didn't help us that much. See, if you can hold your spawn objective and B, it's very easy to take the game. If you can hold your spawn objective and B for the entirety of the game, you're gonna win. There's no way that the enemy team can win. It's not like Battlefield, where kills also count as points. It's Call of Duty here. You can only get points from holding objectives. So the number one thing that you need to know about triple capping is you need to know your spawns. You need to know spawn knowledge. You need to know that if you're holding A and B, the enemy is going to be spawning somewhere behind C. If you're holding A and C, they're going to be spawning randomly around B. It can be very difficult to figure out these spawns. The number one way to find out what the spawns are is to play the game. You really got to just play the game, learn the spawns. The spawns are a little bit different in every single Call of Duty game, and you just have to play the game to know. It's something very difficult about the game, is that every single Call of Duty game, the spawns are a little bit different, and you just got to play the game to find out what they are. So it's pretty simple. Just play the game, play a lot of domination, and try and hold different objectives at different times to see when the enemies are going to be spawning. And that's your number one way to learning how to triple cap. You gotta figure out that if they're spawning at C, you gotta rush them through B and attack them at both directions from A and C. Or A and B, I mean. It's just it's like a way of, you got to talk to your teammates, and you got to know where the enemies are going to be at. You got to know, you just got to know where the spawns are. It's kind of a difficult concept to learn how to triple cap. 90% of the time, it's luck. Like I said, you got to be engaging teams that have a lower amount of people than you, or you got to have one guy that's really just slaying and getting a lot of score streaks out. You got to get them. The best way is to take your spawn objective and B, and then rush them into their own objective and cut them off at their spawn. So that's your number one way on learning how to triple cap. I hope that helped you a little bit. Without further ado, let's jump into advanced movement in this game, and if it helps you or not. So advanced movement is a lot different in Black Ops 3 than it was in Advanced Warfare. In Advanced Warfare, we could just hit a button, boost up into the sky, we would be bunny hopping all over the place, jumping around, and you never really had to put any thought into how you were going to boost. In this game, we're looking at it, and it's a lot different. Now you have to hold to boost, and that can be a huge problem, because you cannot hold to boost and move your analog stick at the same time. So if you're holding to boost, if you're boosting up in the air, you can't really boost during gunfights, because you can't boost and look at the same time unless you have a tournament controller. We're going to get to that in a second, but without being able to boost and look at the same time, you can't really use the boosting to your advantage while you're playing the game. Like while you're actually in gunfights, you can't really use it. It's mostly just for getting around. That's all the advanced movement is for in this game. You can't use it to battle enemy players and boost at the same time. You can only really boost to get around and then engage in those gunfights on the ground or whatever. So it does kind of make it a more classic Call of Duty feel, and I like it like that. But they should have really had a better way to operate that boost, because holding X and moving the analog stick at the same time is very difficult. Now, I did mention a tournament controller. This would make it 1,000 times easier to boost. I don't even own a tournament controller yet. I'm planning on getting one in the future, but it's a controller like a scuff controller or a cinch controller, where it has buttons or paddles on the back, and you can get an X button put on the back, so you can hold the button on the back, meaning you can still move the analog stick while you're boosting in the air, and it could make it 1,000 times easier to boost and look at the same time, and you could actually use that during gunfights. So if you had a tournament controller, if you have the money to spend, it's highly recommended to grab a tournament controller. It'll make your life 1,000 times easier in this game. And if you don't have a tournament controller, if you're looking to get one, I do have a sponsorship code at Cinch Gaming. So head over to Cinch Gaming. There's a link in the description, but you can head over there and use my code BTIDE. That's BTIDE for 5% off your purchase on a Cinch controller. It's not that much, but it's going to save you a little bit of money. The Cinch controller is like $100 or something like that, so it's definitely worth putting in that 5% code. Now, tournament controllers and the way that the boost works all aside, boosting is really loud. Boosting is not something that I'd recommend you do on a all the time basis unless you have blast suppressor. I never ever run a class without blast suppressor in this game. Never, unless I'm doing camos and I need to run no perks at all. I never ever run not running blast suppressor. I'm trying to say it in a way that will make sense. I never run a class without blast suppressor ever. That's just a stupid thing to do, because if you ever want to just move in this game, you're going to be painted all over the radar. It's very loud, it puts you on the radar, makes a big blip, and it's easy to find people that are boosting. So please, if you're going to boost, use blast suppressor. Don't be stupid. Just use it. It's like one of the best perks in the game. It's the second best perk in the game. The best one being Ghost, which just keeps you off the radar all the time. But blast suppressor, second best perk in the game. I highly recommend you always use that perk. So wall running is the bread and butter of the advanced movement in this game. The maps were made for wall running. They weren't necessarily made for boosting. It's not like Advanced Warfare where you're just supposed to bunny hop up onto rooftops and stuff. This game was made for wall running, and that is its bread and butter. So you really need to learn about the walls, what walls you can run on, where the wall running is going to be to your benefit. And I'm not going to teach you really what walls you can run on and stuff. There's so many great YouTubers out there that have already made these videos where they've shown you every wall run spot on every map and stuff. Go and just Google like wall run spots in Black Ops 3, or look it up on YouTube, and you'll easily find tons of videos where people are going to show you where to wall run in this game. And just learning those, or just even playing the game by yourself, is going to teach you so much about wall running in this game, and about the advanced movement, and when it's appropriate to move in an advanced way and when it's not. So even if you're not planning on wall running a lot, learning the wall run spots is a great tactic for learning where people are going to wall run on, because there are popular wall run locations where a lot of people are just going to run on the same spots over and over again, and it's very easy to stand close to that spot, stand on the ground and shoot them off of those wall run spots, because while you're wall running, although you can shoot, you're very inaccurate while you're shooting while you're wall running. So if you can learn where people are going to wall run and then just camp out and wait for them to come around the corner while they're wall running on there, you're going to have a very, very good advantage. You're going to just completely just melt them right off those walls. Now, other than that, I highly recommend that you learn some great wall run combinations where you can run on this wall, jump to this wall, jump to that wall. That can really be effective at getting around the map quicker and really confusing your enemies. Like, just if they're shooting at you at this spot, you can just jump to this spot and keep running. And it's very effective if you're going to learn your own patterns. If you develop your patterns and you use them every time, you're going to get very, very good at using those walls and learning that and using those patterns to get away from your enemies. It can be very, very effective. I highly recommend you develop some patterns and run around like that. It's what you see me doing in this video. I always jump and I run on this wall, or I run around and I run on the L wall right before that, and I run all the way around there and jump into that room. That's one of my patterns. This is one of my patterns where I run here, and I jump back, I check C, and then I go back around again. There's some patterns that you can just really stick with, and you can really learn the best way to use them, best places that you can use your walls to really attack your enemies, and it's just very effective if you're going to learn some specific patterns and just master some walls. It'll help you a lot. So when all said and done, is wall running a good tactic? Is advanced movement in general a good tactic? I'd say use advanced movement with caution. Always use blast suppressor. Just be aware that you're not going to be as effective when you're in the air or on a wall as you would be if you were on the ground. Just be cautious of that. And use your wall running and your advanced movement in moderation. Don't be always up in the air and running around on the walls and stuff. It's not always going to be to your advantage. Just take your time, stay on the ground a little bit, jump up when you need to. Don't be always on the walls and stuff. So that's a little bit about advanced movement and the triple cap earlier on. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something useful. Make sure you hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, and comment down below what your favorite wall run location is or something, and subscribe if you haven't already. We only need 8 more subscribers for the 300 subscriber giveaway, so that's exciting, and I'll see you guys on the next one.